Well, first I want to commend Northern Colorado, the prognosticators and everybody who has an opinion on college basketball kind of has them at the bottom of their conference and, new coach. And I'm here to tell you when I watched them play against Butler and Santa Clara, I got sick to my stomach because they play a brand of offense that is terrific. Their coach is one of the best offensive coaches that I have seen. It reminds me of the FIBA game where there's a lot of movement and pace, and it's very difficult to guard. They put you in positions where they move you around, then all of a sudden they kind of get to what they want to get to. And guess what? They have a great point guard. Great. You watch guys over the years. Jordan Davis can play at any program in the country, and he's a special talent. He's big, he's physical, he makes the game easier for his teammates, and he's a tough guy to defend. We were really challenged. We were not surprised by that. And then on top of it, they put a zone defense up, and it's the first time this year's team has really gone against the zone. And that first time, you really rely on your older guys. And unfortunately for us, we have a ton of new faces. So we had a deer in the headlights look. Our first half, we were a little bit more unsettled, but I liked our execution against their zone in the second half. And I thought even the shots we missed were better shots. In the first half, it was kind of like you were just hoping we make a three. So learning how to attack a zone, dealing with fast movement, a great point guard. And then, we're a heavy favorite. We're down at half. It doesn't mean we're going to win. So how our team responded, our second half defense was the best it's been. They had 9 field goals, 24 points, and we really stuck with it defensively. And I thought this year for us, we had to dig as deep in this game defensively as any we've played, and the results showed. And even some of the shots they made some tough threes at the end of the clock. And, their other guard, number 13, Glada, we talked a lot about what a great shooter he is. But when you're talking to somebody who's really never played a college shooter, he almost has to fail and has to learn through trial and error before he's going to get better. And a lot of the threes that this guy made tonight, it was, you don't understand. You can't let a guy like that get 11 off. He should have gotten 6 off, 5 off. And maybe he makes 3 threes or 2 threes. But you let a great shooter get 11 looks off, he doesn't have to be a great player, but he can dominate the game. And for a while there, we had to deal with Glada making threes and Davis, and those two guys combined both had big nights tonight. I mean, they had 35 of their 55 points. So, but I'm happy with our team's effort. Tonight was Parker's best game at Arizona, in my opinion, because everything he did was important. In the last 60 minutes or so, combines Sacred Heart in Northern Colorado, he's 15-1 assist to turnovers, 15-1, and that's excellent. And his 15 points, he got a lot of them against the zone, made great decisions, and it was good to see that.
When Lowry gets 38 minutes and you see him at the end of the game, you get a sense that he's built for that. That's that's the amount that you're to go with, or that he's exhausted.
No, he was exhausted, but against the zone and the way their team plays offense, he was the perfect guy for us to keep in. And no question, we went with him. And with your best players, sometimes you have to allow them to play through fatigue, and we don't want to play anybody on our team 38 minutes a game. But there are those games where they're going to be called on to play more. And we had a couple guys not play as well. But Lowry, his ability to make shots, 10 defensive rebounds, 13 total rebounds. He had a good game. And what's really good about his game tonight is he didn't get off to a great start. So he was able to leave that behind and play through that. And he was better in the second half than he was in the first. But again, playing against the zone for the first time, it's both his teammates and him. A lot of times, you have to be able to find him. And we found him easier in the second half than the first half.
Coach, how big of a concern having 3 guys with 34 minutes plus and that these minutes are accumulating? Is that something that's in the back of your mind, or are you just having to play them given the short number of players you have available?
You know, there are plenty of teams in the country that play 7 or 8 players, and we have to be smart. We have to be smart how we practice. Guys on our team have to do a great job on days off, and you know the guys on the bench, you know they have to be ready, and they have to be ready to contribute. And but if you look, you know we played 8 guys. A lot of teams play 8 guys. Some guys didn't maybe play as much tonight, but that was more a function of the game. Next game we could play them a little bit more. But we're going to get better. You know, our team shouldn't be great right now. We have a ton of new faces and a lot of things we've fought through early on. But I think that we have an upside and opportunity to get better, for sure.
What do you want to see from Kadeem's second game back from the knee?
Well, he played his game tonight. He had 0 turnovers, had 10 points, 3 rebounds, but he used a ton of energy guarding the other team's best player. And his impact on our defense is really, really big. Again, he got backdoored maybe once or twice, and even Kadeem, he's not perfect early in the year, but his effort and his ability on defense is something we really needed. I don't know if we would have won the game if Kadeem wouldn't have played tonight. And again, you say, well, how can that be the case, Coach? You're a heavy favorite. Well, they have 7 scholarship players. We have a bunch of guys who are sitting out. So we hopefully can move in the right direction. But with this group of 8, we need them to contribute. We need everybody. And we have to have a great attitude, a great sense about us, of purpose. And when we go to Las Vegas, we're going to have a really tough game against Santa Clara.
It was about 15 minutes left, I think, in the second half. You pointed to or directed to PJ, kind of get tough. And he got tough. Is he tougher than most of us don't think, or is this how he is?
Yeah, he's just more experienced. Parker has certainly gotten stronger since he's gotten here, but what he is experienced. Everybody, holds the freshmen to this highest standard, and they're the reason you win or lose. Well, if you look at our freshmen tonight, it was the first time they ever defended a style like we defended. It's the first time they ever played against a college zone. And you know what? We were down at half, didn't look good, so we had to dig deep. But because they had to go out there and perform, they're going to learn. I'll learn a lot more this way than if they're not in the game. So, for us, hopefully this is something that we take to Vegas with us, improve. I know we're going to be a much more comfortable team against the zone defense moving forward than we would have been tonight. And we can talk about it. And then as a coaching staff, we have to adjust to our team. You think that this is what we're going to do against the zone, but until you really see your group out there, every once in a while what you see you don't like, and you have to make adjustments. So this game will allow that to happen for sure.
Did you kind of figure that would happen? You'd see a zone with the way your size is and the scoring,
Yep.
and maybe going forward to see it a lot more.
Yes, I think teams that play zone will play zone. Teams that play man will play man. Maybe some teams will try it out. But the thing about zone defense is you don't have to audition your 3-point shooting skills just because a team's playing zone. Dribble penetration, being able to get the ball inside like we did in the second half. A lot of our baskets in the second half were drives and post-ups, and it was the same zone in the second half as we saw in the first half. I think we took 10 threes in the first half. We took 6 in the second. So, learning when to go, when not to go, being able to get the ball in the middle, all of that's really important.
Was that the case on that 3-point play that Parker had that kind of got you guys going in the second half? He drove inside, had big guys all over him.
Yes.
What makes him so good at that? Such tall people around him.
Parker, he's learned how to play the game. He knows our system. He's been in college now for 3 years. He's always been someone we trust a lot with the ball in his hands. Like I said, 15 assists and 1 turnover. I don't know what coach, especially in the month of November, would take that. And, it has a way of being contagious. Tonight we played with 6 turnovers. Playing single-digit turnovers in any game in November, especially playing as many new players as we're playing, is a good sign for us. So that's something we have to keep with us, especially when we get on the road in Las Vegas, where we're on a neutral court, having an opportunity to be that same responsible team.
How does the zone particularly challenging when you do have a younger team, or can you replicate it a lot in practice with the scout team, or like you said, do you just have to get out there and see it?
Yeah, we work on it every day, and we'll continue to work on it. And but we'll also show film, and the fact that we got as many repetitions in tonight's game as we did, I think our guys will learn a lot. We'll learn a lot as coaches, be better moving forward. You know, with different lineups, you want to do different things. You know, as Doosan is out there, there's some things that we might want to stay away from, but there's some things we might want to go more to. Lowry obviously playing against the zone. We want to put him in a good position to be in the right places. So those are all things that we'll talk about here over the next couple of days.
You talked Parker up a lot, I think in the initial press conference we had with you, how much he improved on that. What can he improve even more now as you kind of get into the schedule more and maybe the Pac-12 starts?
You know, we want Parker to take good three-point shots. He's a much better shooter than he's shown. You look at our 18 conference games a year ago, he took selective good threes, and he shot the highest percentage of any player that played in the Pac-12. So I think some of it is settling into his role, learning how to be a starter. He's using a ton of energy right now on defense and pushing the ball, playing more minutes. So he has to be more selective, but we want him to shoot the ball from the three-point line because he's one of our team's best three-point shooters.
Coach, what are you expecting out of Santa Clara this time around as opposed to last year?
Well, we know they're coached well. They're going to be a well-coached team. It looks like they're playing a very fast pace. You know, they have a player that scored as many points against our team as anybody other than Jimmer Fredette. You know, I thought a year ago in California it was an easy 44, 45. He was closer to scoring 60 in that game than he was 20. He missed some good shots, and I think that says a lot about last year's team for us. Everybody, you know, saw that defensive stopper role, and they just ran as fast as they could the other direction. You know, it was about other things, and we fought that throughout the year. And although we might have improved somewhat, that never became part of last year's identity. With this year's team, I think that we have a better opportunity to be tougher, more responsible, you know, to be able to get big stops. Tonight showed that. And we have to be able to guard, you know, college basketball, one of college basketball's best guards. And then obviously a fast-paced team, we have to be really good at defending the three-point shot, getting back. So this game challenged us defensively. It was a great test for what's to come on Thursday.
You talked about Kadeem before. Do you feel like he's back mentally and back in his groove? Because you talk about Brownridge, you'd probably be seeing a fair amount of him too.
Yeah, I think he's back. He doesn't have his total confidence back offensively yet, you know, especially the other night. You know, he was, in fairness to Kadeem, he was trying to do the best that he could out there. But he was clearly better tonight. We needed him. But he certainly can score easier than he scored so far, and we need him to.
As far as Herb Sendek too, just how would you characterize your relationship with him, and has that changed now that he's out of the Pac-10? I mean, I know you guys were kind of friends way back, and how has it been like lately?
No, I mean, I respect Herb Sendek as much as any coach in our game. Consider him a friend. He did a lot for myself and my family years ago. I worked on his staff, certainly got to know him well as a coach, even more so at ASU. And, you know, Santa Clara is very lucky to have him as their coach. And, you know, we spent some time last year in his year off. And as expected, I think he looked at a lot of different things in his year off. And he returns to the game probably a better coach than he was, you know, the last 20 years. And he's been a heck of a coach before he ever got to Santa Clara. So, but it'll be a well-coached team playing with a great college guard, a team that should have beaten us last year. Nobody knows that more than them. And, you know, we have to be ready to go.
I was just wondering if you of course coach against friends and colleagues all the time, but here's a guy that maybe you had a reason to think you wouldn't see him much, and then your fifth game of the season you're going to face him.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to getting through that game on Thursday. And, you know, when you don't play against each other, you can talk a little bit more, help each other more. And that really hasn't been a part of our relationship because we've always been rivals, or at least the last 6-7 years.
Thanks.